back to my channel. So for today's video, I am back with a Get It or Ditch It Kokie Cosmetics edition. Today we're going to be testing out the products, seeing if they're women of color friendly, how they hold up to par. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I achieved this look and hearing, some reviews on Kokie Cosmetics, which is fairly a new brand. They're at Walmart, and I have heard a lot of rave about them lately from That's So Jazz or Juicy Jazz on YouTube. She's a YouTuber, obviously, so I heard her mention a few things from Kokie Cosmetics, so I went and purchased some. They had a sale over the weekend, so I was like, okay, I'm going to grab some goodies and film those for you guys and let you know my thoughts. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, so I'm super excited. I have my box full of goodies right here, and I have almost a full face, but not just quite, and we'll get into why I don't have a bunch of full face products. Well, about like 3 or 4, we'll get into that, but first let's go ahead and start the face so the video is not super long. Now my normal routine is different. I don't usually always show it on camera, but for today I will. So what I like to do first is prime my eyes and conceal under my brows before I fill them in. So I have the Be Bright Illuminating Concealer, and this is in the shade Golden Tan. So what I like to do is I usually use something different to prime my eyes. You guys know I like an eye base, but they did not have a base, so we're just going to use concealer, which works fine. So I'm just going to start blending that out and then bring it underneath the brows just to conceal. And I started doing this a while ago. I feel like it just makes the brows, it helps me get them like cleaner and sharper. And this concealer is doing a good job at concealing. Wow. It looks a little too light, but we'll see how it plays out. But it definitely concealed the under eyebrow hairs, so that's good. Okay, it's blending out very nicely. Okay. So I did grab an eyeshadow palette from them, and this is in the shade Master Essentials. So it looks very nice. This is what it looks like. It's a lot smaller. On mine it looked like it was going to be big. So just throwing that out there. I'm just going to set with this tan shade right here. And let's see. Okay. Seems very smooth and velvety. There wasn't any kickback. I do usually expect kickback, but this one barely has any, which is nice. And I'm, not totally against kickback. It can be very annoying and messy on your clothes and whatnot, but barely any kickback, and this is very smooth. So I like the formula so far. Now we're going to fill in the brows, and I got their Precision Brow Pencil in the shade Warm Brown. The only thing I don't like is the fact that it doesn't have a spoolie. It's a retractable pencil, which I like. I hate sharpening, but there's no spoolie, so I wish they would have included that. Okay, so I brushed my brows out with the spoolie. Now we're just going to start to fill them in. I hope this isn't too dark, because I have my blonde wig on today, and dark brows and blonde hair just does not mesh together well. So it's filling in my brows like a dream, outlining them nicely. It's very smooth. I like the formula on this so far. It's very smooth. Oh. I keep biting it as if I'm going to pull off the end for it to have a spoolie on the other side. Okay, so I really like this brow pencil. I usually use brow pomades, as you guys know. My last eyebrow tutorial, I used a pomade. I just prefer them, but this could be really good for my more natural makeup days, and when I don't have time in the morning, I sleep in or whatever, and I still want to beat my face kind of like a soft glam. I can definitely see myself reaching for this. It looks very good, especially from far away. But for it to be $10, they could definitely throw in a spoolie. There's other brow products at the drugstore that range between like $8 and up, but they all include a spoolie, so they definitely should include a spoolie in this brush. Okay, did grab a brow mascara. This is what it looks like. Very small. So this is in the shade Clear, and I'm just going to set the brows. Oh, wow. I really like this mascara, this brow mascara. I'm sold already. Well, brow gel, it's called brow mascara. But the formula feels like a gel, and it just locked all my hair into place, and they feel like a good brow gel. Like, I have a brow gel that I use all the time, and this definitely tops it. So I can already tell I'm gonna be grabbing for this one more. Oh, I love it. It feels more like a gel instead of a mascara. I'm sold on it already. So for the eyeshadow palette, online, it definitely looked a lot more warm tone. Like it would have more warm tones in it, but these are very cool. As you can see, it's lacking a transition shade. They have a setting shade, but as far as, at least, you guys know I like a burnt orange, but if they aren't going to have that in a palette, they should at least have a light brown as a transition shade, but they only have this cool tone brown right here, which you can't use a cool tone brown as a transition shade. So I want to make this palette work without reaching into something else, so let's see. I didn't want to have to reach into another palette, but I'm going to have to for a transition shade. So I'm just going to take a little bronzer and just dust that into my crease, just so we have something to help the shadows blend. So I'm just looking at the shades in here and seeing how I can play it out. I feel like it's almost impossible to create a look without reaching into other eyeshadow palettes, because even if I did a like gold eye, I don't have a shadow that's really dark enough to act as a gold like smoky eye, and if I did the blue, I definitely don't have any. So, you know, let's work with it and see what we come up with. So I'm going to grab the cool tone brown shade right here, and let's see how pigmented it is. Like I said, there's literally like little to no kickback in the shadow, which I love. Top some off, because, you know, if you put too much in, it's going to be a nightmare blending it out. So let's see. Okay, so it's pretty cool tone. I can tell that it can definitely get muddy quickly, so I'm not going to throw any more in the crease. Okay guys, so I have to switch over to a crease brush because I just dipped that brush accidentally. It got into the blue shadow, which is also a pain because the pans are so small that it's hard to get a fluffy brush in there. So that was kind of annoying, but I'm going to work it out. So if it doesn't look as blended and nice, that's just because I had to switch over to a different brush. Now I'm just grabbing a blending brush and we're just going to blend out that cool tone brown in the crease. I really am trying to work with it, guys. I hate cool tone shades. They just like don't work for me. I feel like I haven't done a cool tone look in a while, so I'm trying to be open-minded and be fair. Okay, so not bad. It looks pretty good. I'm just going to grab a little more and bring it up higher in the crease because the shadow I'm going to use all over my lid, and I have hooded eyes, so it's going to end up going pretty high, and I don't want to take away from the crease. So I'm just going to put a little more higher up. And I'm going to go in with this gold shade right here at the end, well, at the beginning, and I'm going to apply that on the lid. I picked up some, no kickback, no fallout, so I definitely love that. And that's pretty pigmented for me, not cutting my crease and putting a base or concealer down, so I'm impressed. Wow, so I'm super impressed with this pigmentation. It's rare to find a good drugstore eyeshadow that's pigmented without having to lay a base down, so I'm sold. So I definitely want to try and use as many shadows out of the palette as I can, so I'm going to go and highlight with this middle shade right here and see if that has a little pigmentation to it. It looks like a satin, so we'll see. Oh, okay. Hello. I did not expect it to have this little shimmer. It's like a peachy undertone. I like it. Very nice. I'm actually going to use this in my inner corner as well. It's such a pretty subtle highlight, peachy undertone. I love it. I'm going to dip in more and go underneath the entire brow. That's how much I like it. So before we go finish the eyes, I forgot to do it after my brows, but let's prime the face. So I have the Smooth Glow Hydrating Foundation Primer. This really captured me because I'm always on the hunt for a great hydrating and smoothing primer. It's rare for me to find one. I actually haven't found one that works as a hydrator and a smoother. It's either one or the other. So when this claimed to hydrate and smooth, and give me glow. I was like, okay, I need to try it. I'm going to take about this much and see how it works out. Applying a little bit everywhere. And let's go in and blend it out. Okay. Oh. Oh my gosh, I can literally feel it smoothing out my skin as I work it in. Oh my gosh, as I blend it out. Wow. My skin, that was actually a little too much. I can definitely tell with this a little bit goes a long way. Wow, my skin feels very hydrated and smooth. So now we're going to go back to the eyes, and I have this Line and Style Long Wear Matte Liquid Eyeliner. And let me show you guys what it looks like. It looks like a pen. I like it. It's really cute. And, okay, so this is interesting. I've tried eyeliners like this before where it's thick, but I like that towards the tip of it, it's more thin. So let's see if it creates a wing easily. Okay, so I like to do my wing first and then draw it in. So we'll see. And I'm going to try and do a thin wing because I don't want it to take away from the gold eyeshadow. Okay, so I definitely have to go and clean up my wings, but I did a pretty good job. I was scared that the tip, because it was so thick, it would make it impossible for me to do like a thin to medium sized wing, but it did good and I like it. So now let's apply some mascara. This is the Stay Dry Waterproof Mascara. Waterproof mascaras can be a bitch because they are impossible to get off, but you know, with a little coconut oil, it comes right off. But I do usually tend to stray away from waterproof mascara, so I'm interested to see if this adds volume, if it's a good mascara. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, but their packaging is super cute. I'm obsessed with this black and white, and this just looks so cute. Just wanted to throw that out there. So this is really showing off my length, not so much giving me volume, and I already have long eyelashes, so I prefer the volume, but I can definitely see myself reaching for this when I'm doing just a soft makeup day, like no eyeshadow, just mascara. This will really show off my lashes. So I did grab some falsies from them. These look really pretty, and I love the packaging that they came in. This packaging, very sturdy, so I do like that. And it also comes with some lash glue on the back, so I'm always down to try a new brand of lash glue. So, ooh, and it's a brush-on lash glue. I like it. It smells like acetone, but that's okay. Alright, so let's go in and apply these. These are super pretty. They're very, like, flirty lashes. I like it. And also, guys, these would also be perfect if you're a beginner because the lash band is so thin that you're going to be able to apply it like that. So the lashes are applied, and these are beautiful. I will come in closer for you guys, but I love them. Also, really quick before we zoom in, I want to talk about this eyelash glue. First of all, it's absolutely amazing. Gets tacky in 20 seconds, and it's small like this, sturdy jar, little ceramic jar, and then it pops out like that. Has a brush to brush on the applicator, and I love the way it just pops back in like that. So this is what the lashes look like up close. It's going to look even better once we have the eyes done, but I'm just obsessed. So now we're going to move to the face, and I have their Skin Perfect HD Foundation in the shade 110W, so I don't know what it would be like the name, like a sand, beige, whatever. But I'm going to take one pump. I usually use about a pump and a half of foundations, depending on how full coverage it is. So let's see. Hopefully it's my color. I'm going to let you guys know now that their foundation and concealer shades need work. This looks like it might be too warm for me, but we'll see. So I'm just going to dot it all around. My main thing with foundation, if it's going to be full coverage, if it's going to claim to be full coverage, it needs to cover up my dark spots. So we'll see. I saved a little bit on the back of my hand for my neck. I like to blend out my foundations with a brush. So I'm taking this Moda Cosmetics foundation brush and just pushing it into my skin. Okay, so it didn't cover up all of my dark spots right here. So I'm going to say this is a medium coverage. Okay, so now for the other side, I'm going to go in with my Beauty Blender. Okay, another thing is this sat for about almost a minute while I did the other side of my face, and it didn't dry down. It's not hard to blend out, so I like that. And as you guys know, with the Beauty Blender, you definitely do lose a little bit of coverage because it picks up the excess foundation. So that's why I like to go in with a brush first and then bounce over my skin with a Beauty Blender. So let's see which side is better. I like the Beauty Blender side. I feel like with HD foundation formulas, it always looks better with a Beauty Blender. So the first layer, this is one pump. It has a medium coverage. It almost covered up all my dark spots, but not quite. So for the sake of the video and really giving everything a fair chance, I'm grabbing a second pump so we can see if it does, if it's buildable. And I'm going to go in with my Beauty Blender. I just like the way that, you know, it blended everything out. So let's pounce over the skin. Okay, so I do have to say that it is definitely a medium coverage foundation. The shade, it's not too off. It's a little warm for me, but, you know, I can still tell if it's full coverage or not, and it's definitely a medium coverage. Maybe you could build on it more with a third layer, but that's just too much. I'm not trying to look cakey. I have dry skin. But it is a very nice foundation. So now we're going to go in with the concealer, and I'm scared. I won't even lie to you guys because this is so light. Like I said, their oh my god. Maybe I can work with it. But their concealer range is just not the business. This was the second to darkest shade. The shade after would have been too dark for me, so that tells you right there that it needs work if this is the second to darkest shade, because there's many other beautiful women that are darker than me. So Kokie, what are you doing? But I think I can maybe possibly make this work. I'm not going to let it sit under my eyes like I usually do because I don't need it to be any lighter or dry down. So I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and we're going to go in and see. I do have pretty bad dark circles. I stay up all night pretty much doing homework and working. So, oh my god. Oh, makeup gods, help. Guys, this is so light. I don't even know how I could make this work. Alright guys, so I'm back. We might be zoomed out a little bit, I'm sorry. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I did finish off my face. Under the eyes, it doesn't look too bright because I just set it with a face powder that, you know, that matches my skin tone. If you have a concealer that's too light and you try to go in with some translucent powder or any white powder, no. Don't do that. You want to go in with a face powder that matches your skin tone. So this is what it looks like. It doesn't look too bad, but we'll see when we do the flashback test. Okay, so you guys already know I have to have my pop of color. So I'm going to take the blue shade right here. And let's go ahead and pop that on the lower lash line. Let's see. Very smoky, so that's okay. That's okay. I'm just going to place it with a pencil brush. I want to be super bold, so I'm going to take a little blue eyeliner from them. This is in the shade Royal Blue. And hello, pop of color, but I like it. So now for lips, I grabbed their Kissable liquid lipstick, and I got two shades. I got Sublime, which is this nice pinky nude, and I got Suede, which is more on the brown side. So let's swatch and let's see what we're gonna do. Okay, so this is Suede right here. I think it would look good. Now let's swatch this pink one. Okay, and the bottom is Sublime. Sublime. So I'm gonna go with the more brown one. So this is the finished look right here. I think it came out very nice, but let's break down the products, starting with the concealer, which we used first. It has a really nice formula, blends out very nice and easily, has full coverage, but it's too light for me, so has to go. Not going to work for me. The brow pencil, 100 from me, gets an A. I love it. I'm super obsessed. I actually feel like I'm going to be picking this up more than my brow pomade, so I might be going through that pretty fast. I will keep you guys updated in like a favorites video for March, because, you know, February's over. We just started March, so I will keep you guys updated for that, because, yeah, it's the last day of February. So this will probably definitely be in a March favorite, so I'll continue to test it out. The brow gel, well, it's brow mascara, but it feels like a gel. My brows are locked in place, and they look amazing, so I definitely love that combo. My brows look bomb, so I'm obsessed with that. Eyeshadow palette, it's not practical. It's like they just threw a bunch of shades together. You don't have a transition shade. The formula is nice, but, you know, it's not practical, like I said, so I'm going to say leave it unless you're okay with, you know, mixing and matching. When I do my tutorials, I like to stay within one brand of shadows, whether it's single shadows or stay in one palette, so in case someone tries to recreate it, it's not too hard. So, yeah, if you don't mind, like, dipping into different palettes, then definitely I would recommend it. The formula is nice. Definitely has some pretty colors. I will make use of it because I have it. The eyeliner, I didn't expect to like it, but I do. I'll give it a B. It just dries out, so you have to shake it in between, but the wing looks good, pretty even, so that gets a B from me. Lashes, they get an A+++. They're so beautiful, very flirty lashes, very wispy, yet still toned down to wear every day. The mascara was lengthening, not volumizing, just so you guys know, so I like it. I have long eyelashes, so whether it's a volumizing or lengthening, it still works in my favor. The foundation, I definitely like. It is a little too warm, but they definitely need to work on their face products. They definitely need to expand their foundation shades, because I believe that was either the second or third darkest shade that they have. Like, that's my shade, and there's maybe 2 or 3 after, so they definitely need some work on their complexion products. Concealer, way too light, like I said, but it literally covered up my dark circles. You don't see it peeking through, so the formula is amazing. I wish they had my shade. I would just have to use it to conceal under my brows, which is unfortunate because, like I said, the formula is amazing. My dark shades, my dark circles aren't peeking through, and if it wasn't a full coverage concealer, then you could see it no matter how light it is, but it's not peeking through, so it's unfortunate. And then they had one contour palette, and it looks like a dupe for the Kat Von D palette, but I never got the Kat Von D palette because it's not for me. I don't set with a banana shade. I can only use 2 shades out of the palette, so why pay, I think it's like $15 to you know, highlight and contour and then have to buy another one, and it's not even like replaceable, so that was a no-go for me. They definitely need to add a medium to dark contour shade, then I would definitely buy that. I didn't get a face powder because, like I said, their complexion products definitely need work and a more wider range, so I didn't get that. Their highlighters didn't really have any for women of color. I prefer golden highlights, so that was out. Blush was the blush palettes they had, didn't really like it. The blue eyeliner, I absolutely am obsessed with. It's definitely staying in my waterline. I have very watery eyes, so usually eyeliner will start to disappear, but it's still there. It's been about a half hour. I had cut my camera off and everything, but yeah, it's still there, so I like it. The lip color, I'm obsessed with. It's like a dark mauve, and I'm obsessed with it. I also have their nail polish on. I don't remember the colors. I have it linked down below, but it's super pretty, right? I'm obsessed with it. So out of all the products, that's my opinion. I definitely would recommend you guys try out the brow mascara, the brow pencil, their liquid lipstick formula. It did take about 2 minutes for it to dry down. Didn't transfer to the back of my hand, which I really like. It doesn't feel matte. It feels very moisturizing, but it doesn't
right off the bat.
And you got me like, ow. So now we're just going to go back up to the eyes, and I have the Kokie, well, obviously Kokie, but they didn't have any eye bases, so I'm going to be using concealer. Oh, this doesn't have a brush.